Why do I keep hearing it? I keep hearing my song. Do I have it playing somewhere? Oh, I do have it playing somewhere. I'm an idiot. Looking pasty. I gotta fix that. Ah, there we go. That's better. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Drone Brews. We're back on our normal schedule because we don't really do schedules very well. We've got a new brew. Not really a new brew. It's a cheap brew. I went and bought like the 2-for-1 everything beer. When I say I did, my wife did, but that's besides the point. Alrighty. So tonight we have special guest Kyle Watts. Spoiler, Paul did not meet him at camera camp. He did not. I think producer Paul's back. Producer Paul, where are you at?
This looks fire.
Oh, that looks so.
This is why I get
sexy.
hired back, because I can do this kind of stuff.
I had to hire you back even after you went behind my back and attempted to go Judas on me last week. You Judas. That's what you attempted to do. You attempted to overthrow me. You locked me out of the account. You soiled the name.
I was, I got jealous. I just had to feel what it was like to be the Dobo for one day, for one night.
Now you felt the power. How did it feel to have all that power in your hand, Paul?
It was
Good,
magical.
huh? All 6 inches of it, huh? I mean, I digress. Paul is in 720p, but the overlay is in 8K. He's not lying. So we've got a cool show tonight. We've got an interesting
Hey,
topic.
listen, my internet got better this week. I got a letter in the mail from Spectrum that said they upgraded me for free from 100 to 200, but I tested it and I'm still getting 10.
Yeah, Paul, you know what it is? I think that I don't know what it is. Did you set the stream up to 1080p, Paul?
1080p?
Yeah, is it a 1080p stream, Paul?
Sure.
Okay. Jared says, you guys switched to Ecamm? Nope, we did not. We are using StreamYards. We are StreamYards ambassadors. There's a link in the description below. If you click on that, you will pay for StreamYards full price and get to use it for as much as you pay. Link in the description below. Tell them that Paul and OriginaldoBo sent you. StreamYards.com. That's not sponsored. I just pulled it out of my ass.
Wow.
All right. Eddie says it's 1080p. Paul looks like he's sort of 1080p. You look good. Don't do that, Paul. Please don't ever do that again. So last week,
Hey, you want me to show you my crack?
No, I don't. We don't need to see your crack. We want to keep the stream streamable after. I want to keep the stream streamable after the fact, and I can't have your crack on the stream poll.
You're right. We
You got us
can't blur it
demonetized
out in
last
post,
time.
right? So
can't do that. So we got an interesting topic we're going to talk about a little bit too. I want to talk about what Airmaps basically self-imploded on themselves the past, it's been probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm late, but I wanted to like give it some time to really assess the situation and look at it. A lot of people are jumping ship.
Like, I was on Jake Sloan's and a number of people did.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because I think it's sort of ironic. People are jumping ship to Kitty Hawk, but there's some correlation between Kitty Hawk and Airmap that some are probably not aware of.
I'm not aware of it. Tell me.
So we'll talk about all these things and why canceling things or canceling to cancel is stupid. But with that being said, play the video for our guest, dude.
Yeah, so let's do a little backstory. This is we got our guest here tonight, Kyle Watts. I'm a big I've been trying to build this wall back here, my charging wall, and I came across this creator and I was like, wow, and I started bench watching his channel, and I come to find out he is about as obsessed with Back to the Future as I am, which is just amazing. And he did this really cool product video last week, and you gotta check it out. That was so cool.
That was pretty cool. You know who would like that commercial? Sean Oz.
Sean Oz? Oh, yes. He
snowboards.
He's been doing a lot of snowboard stuff. So what's going on, Kyle? How you doing, man?
Not a lot. Pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show, you guys.
Glad to have you on the show. So, Kyle, for everybody who doesn't know you, which is probably a lot of people on the show, tell them, give us a 30-second rundown of what your channel is about.
So it's a gear review, film tutorial, vlogs, kind of whatever the hell I want it to be at times. But it's still early on, so I can change it to pretty much whatever we want to be at some point. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't meet him at Camera Camp, but he is a Sony shooter. So
yeah, I see that. The Sony shooters are trying to overtake the world. I will not allow it. I will not allow it. I think personally, a camera is just a camera. It's, you can make it look like you can make anything look whatever way you want it to look, as long as you have a vision or take the time to sit there and massage the footage. And I think that's the problem is a lot of people, they just want like that instantaneous gratification of whatever comes out of the camera. And you can get that. You can get it to an extent with lighting and things like that. But I think for the most part, it also takes just a little bit of time and understanding. So you do some really interesting commercials. I was sort of scanning over the channel, and I can't even compare you to what Daniel Schiffer does because your style is entirely different.
Yeah, I mean, to a point. I mean, I think everybody's picking up what Schiffer's doing. Definitely, it's hard not to. He does some pretty sweet stuff. So, but a lot. I'm from Minnesota, so right now it's going outside is kind of pointless.
Yeah,
unless you want to get white everything and overexpose the hell out of everything, and so it's trying to get creative at home in the basement right now. So
yeah, I guess that's true though. The couple of times I've tried to shoot when it was snowing, it's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible to expose for anything. I mean,
yeah. Well, then it gets damn cold, and you holding gear and freezing your ass off trying to be presentative in front of a camera. So it's not something that's you can do it in spurts, and then you kind of got to warm up and go back out and do it again. And weather's never your friend. It's always cloudy in Minnesota, so
that's a bummer.
Yeah, just trying to get creative in the winter years a little bit,
Okay. So what about drone? You guys use drones at all for anything? What you do, or
I definitely use drones on. We had like a travel channel that we were trying to start last year and kind of flopped as soon as COVID started. But
yeah,
I tried to use at least 1 or 2 drone shots per video. It's a great way to kind of show where you're at and whatnot.
What's your drone of choice right now?
Right now, I'm still using the Mavic Air. It's small. It does what I want it to do for the most part. Definitely want to upgrade to the 2 just because I've almost lost this thing a couple times, or kind of get, you get around a building and all of a sudden you lose signal and things kind of go, not the way you want them to. So
I think that definitely was the biggest letdown with the first generation Mavic Air was no OcuSync, but the camera is still really amazing.
Yeah,
I think the camera's amazing.
As long as you're within a straight line of sight, I mean, it does damn well. So I have a tendency sometimes to not check my settings, and for some reason this thing likes to switch settings on me when I part off, and then you get done filming, you're like, why did I film 1080? I wanted 4K, and it's in whatever. So it happens. I had this one problem with this thing once last winter. I was trying to do the compass thing where you're doing the little drone dance, and I could not get it to sync. Over and over, it kept saying, get away from metal, get away from magnets. And I just was like losing my shit because it was trying to get the shot, and it just kept on saying error. Then it dawned on me I was wearing those like photographer gloves that had the magnets in it.
Oh,
you
no
can,
way.
Flip open the fingers. They will create enough interference on the Mavic to not allow the compass to work. So it took me like 20 minutes to find that out, though.
It's funny you say that. I usually wear an Apple Watch, and when I wear my Apple Watch, and if I'm using either my Evo or the Mavic 2 Pro, sometimes I'll get magnetic interference, and if I take my watch, throw it in the car, totally fine.
Works fine. Yep.
Totally fine. I think it's just enough interference. A lot of times though, I'll get that interference and I'll take off anyhow. You're not supposed to do that, but I'll do it as long as I keep it low enough. But usually once I get off the ground, it's fine. That has bit me in the ass before, but it's usually enough to cause a problem.
Yeah.
Which sort of sucks.
Yeah, this, I don't know if the OcuSync is any worse with stuff like that, but definitely this thing has had a few issues with that kind of stuff, with interference and whatnot.
A little bit.
You should have seen some of the videos on his channel that he's had some. How many Mavic Airs have you gone through? Mavic 2 Airs?
I did go through 2. I did go through 2 Mavic Airs. So the first one, that was on me. So same thing like Kyle was saying, like the compass was not. I was impatient. It was nighttime and I wanted to get the shot. And it said that it had, I think it said it had 6 satellites. And I assumed that it was going to be just like the Mavic 2 Pro. If I take off, it would gain more satellites. Well, that was not the case because it didn't do that. But let me tell you, once it hooked some satellites, it hooked them and that thing was just gone. It was like you could not control it for nothing. So yeah, I crashed that one. I was able to recover it. The second one, that was on me again. That was stupid. I was panning. I was getting a shot. There was a building, and apparently I smacked into the balcony of a building. So I thought I was higher than the building. I wasn't, and surprisingly,
you crashed a lot.
Yeah, I have crashed a lot. That's part of the job.
Seems to be the problem too with the Mavic 2 is that camera just sticks out so far that it doesn't take much for that thing to break. Versus I've crashed this thing like 5 times and I've had to replace a few blades, and that's about it. The
one nice thing about the original Mavic Air 2 is the fact that the gimbal is recessed a little bit. It's definitely a lot more durable than the second generation version, but I mean, I don't know. They're both really good. I gotta have OcuSync. I think OcuSync is huge, especially like when you're talking about losing signal around, building a house or maintaining control is super, super key to get that shot. Like I hate having to refilm something again just because, I lost signal or something. That just always drives me nuts. But they have done some firmware updates, so that is a good thing. So you're shooting right now. You're shooting you shoot a Sony shooter, right? Your camera of choice is A6400 right now.
Definitely just lost audio in my headphones here.
I was like, yeah, we're talking to you, bro. No, I can answer for him if you want, but yeah, he shoots A6400 right now.
Okay. Yeah,
which I think is amazing because you go back to your comment about it doesn't really matter what camera you are. I mean, I'm shooting on an A7 III and his content looks way better than mine. So I mean, he's
But again, it's I think what a lot of people like when they first start out, they want to get this camera, they want to get the look of like the creators that they watch, but they automatically assume, okay, we're shooting in log or we're shooting in, you know, some format and it's something we're doing, but a lot of time it's just manipulating the colors and the lighting around you. So like if you look at Kyle's background, he's got purple against his skin tone, and you got a little bit of accent lighting there to try to sort of bring it back, and then you got good lighting on him. So it's all about sort of leveraging the colors in your scene, you know, and that's always what it boils down to, is leveraging the lighting. I think I'd rather have good lighting than worry about what type of camera I'm shooting on any day.
Well, definitely lighting is more important, especially if Tommy Calloway is in here. You tell you the same thing.
What are you drinking, Paul?
Oh,
is that beer? Seltzer.
Come on, man.
Seltzer. Unbelievable, Paul. Unbelievable, Paul. So, Paul, what are you doing?
What?
You still haven't fixed your white balance, but that's okay. We'll work on that.
I fixed my white balance. It looks fine.
It looks, I mean, slightly better, Paul. Slightly. I think StreamYards can do a little bit better. John Zimmerman says, I'm pretty sure that Kyle's channel link in the description is not the right one. Paul, what link did you put in the description? Let me go take a look. I guess I didn't look. Verified.
I didn't look either, I guess.
Let's see. So it says check out Kyle's channel. So let's click on that link. That is definitely not Kyle Watts's channel, brother.
Man, I boshed on that one. I swear I typed in before. I guess
you definitely did. So Kyle, he's already doing you a disservice.
Oh, Kyle, can we change that? Let's see here. What's this thing?
So I just went to the channel. I'll put it in the chat here for anybody who wants to go check it out. But it's actually pretty amazing. So you know what I'm finding is there's a lot of creators right now on YouTube that are just like sort of springing up out of nowhere, and they don't have a massive following, but the content is punching way above the weight class, and it's just becoming more apparent that YouTube is becoming a very talented place. If you look at so here's one where he did, Paul, I don't know if you can pull this up, but he did that commercial for, what was that, April? Is that alcohol? Call? What was that?
that was a great one.
That was another one. Freaking awesome. Another way to leverage color, which I thought was pretty awesome. There was another one on here. Yeah, what is that?
You know, we had this in Italy once. It was it's kind of a spritz drink. Okay. I don't know. I just happened to have this at home, and it looked cool to film. So when you're doing these commercials and stuff, are like these people are like, for instance, this, for instance, the B-roll you just did for those bindings. Now, is that something that somebody's hired you to do? Not that one. Pretty much right now, I'm just kind of making them, you know, and whether it's for my channel or, you know, it's something I definitely reached out to them and gave to them, and that they can use it if they want, or, you know, it's trying to build maybe future clients with.
So you're building a portfolio, sort of doing things, sort of.
A lot of it too is just I just got this thing finished, this snowboard back here. So in a slight way, it's kind of a way to show it off a little bit too.
Nice.
You know, so it's kind of a little both.
So here's something, you know, like, you know, on the channel, we do something where we talk about real estate tips, tricks, tutorials. And one of the things that people always ask me is, you know, how do you get clients, or how do you get people to buy into what you're selling essentially? And in this instance, you know, you're selling a service essentially. You're selling the fact that you can offer, you know, we would say quick Instagram videos, advertisements. I mean, damn good advertisement at that, and probably at the fraction of a cost that a company could, you know, pay somebody to do the same task.
Right.
So, you know, I would say to anybody, if you're looking to get business and get clients, like, looking over this channel is a great, you know, lesson in that. You know, everything is sort of critically and strategically done. Like, for instance, that you know, B-roll video that he did, a great example of that. Another great video is that Andover, which I think, Paul, can you play that? The April?
Yeah, I have the ad ready. Let's just
play it.
It's a great show of color. Awesome. I think he did a great job matching the color to the whole thing. So let's
play it. I like that. Sounds dope. Now, have you drank it though, or no?
I haven't opened this one yet. We were actually supposed to make a video for my wife's for vet school. They were supposed to do some kind of like, I don't understand what the project was. It was supposed to be something where they had to showcase like a I don't know, like a certain country or something like that.
Okay.
And she picked Aperol and we were going to do a drink commercial. So it was sitting around and then we never got to it. So then I started doing that video as kind of like product showcase on how to do it. And I had a video with like headphones and a watch and that and a whole bunch of things. And it just got to a point where I'm like, this is going to be like a 50-minute video if I finish this.
Right.
And, you know, it's fun watching those kind of videos for that long, but small channels, like you can't hold attention spans like that. So
Right.
I was like, you know what, I'm going to backtrack this. I'm going to go back, refilm kind of what I did behind the scenes and make it more of a behind the scenes, you know, how to do a commercial with some editing. So
how did you get the motion of the bottle? Like, what are you using to get your motion?
I'm just using like here, I'll grab it.
Yeah, let me see what you're using. You know, one of the things is when I try to do product B-roll and you want to get different angles, I'm like, how do I do this myself? I'm only one person.
So it's like a $30 electric turntable.
Okay.
You can plug it in one way, it'll go one way. If you plug it the other way, it'll reverse.
Oh shit! That's
Obviously,
awesome.
in post you can reverse anything, anyways. But
yeah.
And then I'm just using like a black.
How fast does that spin?
It's pretty darn slow.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually 2 or 4xing the video afterwards.
And you're a final cut editor, right?
Yep, yeah. So it's super simple to do that. But,
I'm gonna need an affiliate link for that because it beats the alternative. Because one of the things I was looking at buying was I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're called the syrup.
Yeah.
You know, and they're great, but they're like $300.
Yeah, that's
and they're
$30 on Amazon. You just type in.
Or no? Is that loud?
What's that?
Is that loud?
No, it's super quiet.
Okay, so that's the other thing is the battery operated ones are super loud. And
but if you're doing B-roll, it doesn't matter.
You're right, but let's say if you're doing a video and you wanted to have something sitting there where it was rotating as you're doing it, I don't know why you would want to do that, but you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Here,
what I like about his videos
I'll rotate my drink tonight. By the way, I'm drinking Lefty IPA. Some of you guys might know it's like potato.
I really
Jets,
want to try that.
Former dog.
I have not tried that, man. I didn't.
You can only really get this in like Mishawaka, Indiana area.
Okay.
I saved a bunch from when we went to Potato Jet's like release party. So this is I'll put my mic right on this so you can hear how loud this is.
Gotta have some pop to it.
So it's got some noise, but I mean you're probably gonna mute it anyways in post. So but yeah, that's how slow this thing goes. It's not too.
Yeah, I mean,
fast.
what I like about his channel is you can see the breakdown. I mean, he does like a few basic shots, but then makes them look really poppy in the editing.
I love that little motorized thing though. Like it is slow, but it's not tremendously slow. It's like that's the perfect solution.
Yeah, it's slow enough to where you don't need to film anything in like slow-mo unless, you know, this camera runs 1080. I prefer to do 4K if I can. So, and then if you're going to do any cool speed ramp transitions, you can just throw in a little motion blur.
Right.
You know, because it starts to get too obvious that you're speeding it up. So, but yeah, it's a cool little product. It's slow.
Hey, Paul.
You can showcase drones with this thing too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. Paul, can you put the 2 screens real quick? I'm gonna go grab another beer.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Thanks, brother. That's 3 screens. That's 3 screens.
Boom. There we go. So yeah, let's see this. Let's see this hoverboard. That's cool, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So what this is I had my friend Jeremy design the board. I kind of gave him I found like an Illustrator file that was for like a make your own hoverboard, and he converted it, made it work as a snowboard graphic. Then I brought it to a place that does like car wraps, like vinyl car wraps.
That's cool.
And they printed it and put it together, and then I had black bindings, and I realized pretty quickly I had to get rid of those and get those like lime green ones. So I also have grip tape for my one of my boosted boards that's hoverboard grip tape too. It's just kind of fun. So
that is really cool. Yeah, I would love to see the hoverboard grip tape. Have you finished that one yet?
I've been saving it to do a video. So I'm gonna probably do a video at some point where, it'll be like a cool B-roll putting it on, and
Right.
then I actually have a friend who has a Back to the Future DeLorean, so we'll probably do a little
saw that.
cinematic scene getting out of the DeLorean and turning on
Dude,
the
I want
hoverboard.
a DeLorean so bad, and there's
Oh,
a
you and me
guy
both.
here that's local that worked on them for the movies. Now he does them because that's what he does for a living. I guess he's kind of like retired-ish and does that. And I think he told me with a DeLorean and making it movie like part 2, it would cost like $70,000 or $80,000.
I mean, if you do it, it depends where you go. I mean, nowadays the car itself is going to be 40 just because they're expensive, but.
And then you got to put some work into most of them to get them kind of up and running, drivable.
Like, I filmed a documentary for my my buddy Andy, who has the Back to the Future DeLorean, and I didn't really know it until I was doing an interview with him, that he just kind of met this guy who had this random shop that had everything inside of it, and they put together excuse me, I'm getting a little burp here. They put together the car for like no money at all. It was pretty much, if they found something that looked close, they just put it on. And
what's the Back to the Future? What is the obsession? What I gotta know. I just have to know. I gotta
childhood movie.
I mean, I used to watch the movie all the time as a kid, and I just
watched
love the
movie
car.
too, but like I don't like. There is a very eclectic following of that movie. There's a lot of people that absolutely just like. I don't know, man. It's like it's got its own. I guess it's sort of like Star Wars.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a Star Wars nut too, so
yeah. It's I think the trilogy is on par with the original Star Wars to me. That's just me, so. But I know it was growing up with it. Seeing it in theaters is probably one of the first few movies I saw in theaters. So I don't know. First movie was pretty much a perfect storyline, I thought, as far as script, and
they pulled it from a lot of places. It used to be I could go on Netflix. You can watch 1, 2, 3. It was there. I don't see it there. I don't see it there anymore.
Yeah, it's probably all about like licensing, and they get it for a certain time.
Which sort of is a shame, but I mean, it's been a while since I've watched that. I don't know. I usually go back. I'll go binge watch some 90s videos from time to time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what keeps it relevant is that at least for the longest time they had the future date, which was 2015, and so there was always like you were still kind of a part of the movie, even though it's been 30 years since the movie came out.
That's true.
Now
they should remake it though. I think they should.
Oh, that'll never happen.
I'm on the fence with that one a little bit. Anyways,
you don't think they'll do a remake of it?
At some point they might, but I know right now I think Universal actually gave a big chunk of the rights to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So
okay.
So unless he ever signed off and gave that back, they wouldn't necessarily be able to. I don't think, but
so basically it's locked.
Yeah, I mean, the Zemeckis and Bob Gale just don't want to have anything to do with making a sequel, and they made the video games, and that's kind of close enough. So
they said that they made the musical that just came out too, and they said that's about as much as of a sequel you're gonna get.
Right.
Sort of sucks. I would.
I mean, nowadays they'd have. I think you would see a lot cooler footage.
100%.
What they did in the '80s was pretty sweet, but if you can imagine now, they'd use.
And that's what's so cool about redoing movies today is the fact that we have the technology just to make things freaking epic. I don't know if anybody watches Marquez Brownlee, but I'm thinking, look at myself today. I watched his video on that Galaxy S21. I'm not a phone guy, right? But I watched the video just because the intro was so freaking sweet. Like, it's cool to start seeing even YouTubers start using CGI in their videos to like. It's crazy to think like we have that technology now. We can do this. It's no longer something that is just proprietary to big Hollywood. It's available to almost anybody if you just have the horsepower to do it,
right,
and a little bit of knowledge to do it. What are you bringing up here, Paul?
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Some early
transitions are good.
Some early jump cuts. So if anyone knows Edgar Wright, this is kind of just a straight rip off of, one of his movies.
I mean, I didn't know you had such a the Back to Your Part 3 costume. That's pretty cool.
I actually made that thing. My wife's mom's a seamstress, and I tried to get her to make that thing for years.
There's a drone shot.
Yep.
A DeLorean?
Yep.
Yeah, this was Halloween at his house. He had the DeLorean, he had a TARDIS, and then they hired a bunch of people to be like Men in Black and walk around and scan people, and he had like a UFO crash on his house.
Man, that's pretty awesome.
That drone shot, man. Yeah, that stuff like that, man. It's cool.
Yeah,
that is pretty awesome.
That was a early on video using the old RX 100.
RX 100.
Oh yeah, Mark II.
Now that's the small camera, right? That's the little action camera.
I mean, they're great they're still great cameras, but the microphone sucks and there's no external mics.
I wanted to track one of those down. I want to put it on a drone, but I've heard good things and bad things about it. But I still want to track one down and try it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get pretty solid 4K footage out of it. I mean, it's going to be a fixed lens, so you're going to get what you get.
and that's perfectly fine. Like anytime I'm putting something on a quad, it's going to be a fixed lens.
They are heavier because they're metal. Like the Sony ZV-1s.
Yeah,
these things are like all plastic, so like they don't weigh as much.
What's your thoughts on the Sony ZV-1? Because I always get asked all the time.
I mean, it's definitely got its own market for who's going to buy it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you can put it in your pocket, and it's almost as good as what I'm using now, which is the Alpha 6400.
That's where I keep gravitating towards GoPro. I still break out my GoPro anytime I'm doing some like quick vlog or something. Right. I'm breaking out the GoPro because it's just so convenient. I find that I'll actually vlog more when it's unobtrusive, where I'm not drawing attention to myself. I'll do it more as opposed to just grabbing like a DSLR or something or a mirrorless camera, where I just feel like it's that fanfare around it. It just I don't know.
Depends where you are at. I mean, like normally I just totally shut down when I'm in front of a bunch of people trying to hold a big camera at myself.
Yeah.
But like when we were at like Disney, didn't care less. I had a gimbal out and I'm rocking around with a big freaking mic on the top, and so it really depends where you're at. Because I don't think
people pay attention when you're at Disney. It's like I've done that at Disney and nobody cares. Like it's just that's like it's almost like people are just used to it, I guess.
I think if you're pointing it at them, they care because they're ending up in your video. But yeah, they're just used to it. And I think honestly, most people watch videos before they go to Disney, so they just probably think it's someone else making another video for Disney. So.
Right, exactly. And now so more like with the pandemic, I haven't been there in a hot minute. It's sort of sad because they're canceling out the season passes. Like we have season passes, and we're like, well, do we renew or not? Because they're not. You're either grandfathered in or you're out. So
you can't I can't buy a season pass again because we didn't renew ours.
Right.
And I don't know if they're going to keep that going on though. I don't know if they're going to keep the Disney passes like that. My gut feeling is that eventually they'll bring it back, but I think that's their way of trying to control the numbers that are entering the park.
Well, that's the thing is that, if they have all the pass holders, they can't really tell how many tickets, because right now they only sell so many tickets. So
it's a reservation system right now, which is sort of interesting. I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Eventually it's going to have to go back to normal. I mean, they've done probably out of all the parks, all the theme parks I've been to, they've done the best job of creating any sort of, we'll call it social distance, because I mean, they've literally done a great job. They've done a great job of making the park sanitized, as to where I go to Busch Gardens or I go to like SeaWorld, and they're just like, well, if you wear a mask, you wear a mask, but if you don't, well, we don't give a shit what happens to you.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been, when we went last year, it was literally last year right at like Valentine's Day time, and that's where we got all these like videos. We started posting all these like how to get a pass on Rise of the Resistance. That video just blew up instantly. It was just getting tons of views.
People love that ride, man.
Well, I mean, also it was like the newest video of the most recent video right before spring break. So I think that's why I did well. And then all of a sudden Disney shut down and just 0 plays. And that kind of was just like, well, I'm still sitting on like 6 days of Florida videos. That
I really do feel for a lot of people that had travel channels, and all of a sudden the world just ended on that. Because I mean, I used to travel a lot for work. I would travel 2-3 times a month, and I would run expense reports, every month. And I can't even tell you, I can't even remember my login to get into my expense account, because it's been that long since I've had to run an expense account for anything.
Right.
you just don't do it anymore, which sort of sucks. It sort of sucks. I really want to get back to like full swing I've been traveling, but not for work, but more for YouTube. But it just doesn't feel the same. Like even Vegas didn't feel the same. Like it just did not feel like Las Vegas, even though everything's open. It was
ghost town,
really,
wasn't it?
What's that?
It was a ghost town for the most part.
Well,
I
mean, you're seeing Vegas not dirty.
It was, but it wasn't. I think a lot of people came there with the same assessment that I have. Like, oh my God, it's look how cheap we got this hotel for. Look how cheap we got this airfare for. This is going to be an amazing weekend. And then you get there and you're in a party of, let's say, 6. Well, if you're in a party of 6, well, 2 people are always going to be the odd man out because you can only sit 4 to a table because of their rules. And to go into a restaurant, we had to make reservations. So we walk up to a restaurant. And we're like, yeah, we have 4. Do you have a reservation? And I'm like, IHOP. And she's like, you need a reservation. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you have to scan this barcode and make a reservation. I'm like, but I'm already here. They're like, hey, it's not our rules. I'm like, so I scan the barcode, go out to the parking lot, make a reservation for literally the time that I'm already here. I walk back up and I said, hey, Ken, party of 4. Oh, okay. Yeah. We can seat you now. I'm like, so COVID knows I have reservations. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, it makes.
Well, they're probably just making sure that they don't overbook it for future or something.
Crazy.
But,
and it was pretty dead.
I work in a hospital too, and that's my main job. And one thing we've learned is that it's just all made up as it goes. It's constantly changing.
It is. We know nothing about everything that we know.
Yeah.
And you know, I've never seen a casino close. Like I've never seen a casino close in all my entire life. Now, the only time I've actually seen one close is here in Florida when there was a hurricane, right? They obviously don't want to gamble in hurricane, but go to the air. We're walking around the Mirage, which is right next to our casino. And it's Monday morning. Usually Mondays are a pretty decently busy day, even though it's just, a Monday. And they're like, oh, you got to leave. And we're like, what? Why? They're like, oh, we close at 2:00. I'm like, wait, what? You close at 2:00? She's like, yeah, we close at 2:00. I'm like, I've never heard of a casino closing, but that's the inevitable truth. That's what's happening out there, which is, it sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll get back to normal soon. But
I'm hoping so, because there's a lot of people like it's pretty bad out there. It's pretty bad out there.
For me, like one kind of fun thing with all of the, especially early on in the pandemic when everything was a ghost town, it was like the best time to go out and fly drones.
Yes.
Like we went out and I filmed this whole video on Minneapolis that was just kind of showing it as a ghost town. Made it all black and white with some sappy piano music, but I got to fly like right over Target Field and kind of go into the field. Like now, if you try doing that, you get arrested. So
it was really cool when it was a ghost town. And like I was low key driving by like a school yesterday. And I was like, man, if this was like peak pandemic, I would be able to fly that. There would have been nobody there because all the schools were closed for the longest time, and I was able to fly them. There was all these spots that I couldn't fly normally. You just go ripping through there and nobody would even say anything to you because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Office complexes, you name it. There was no security, nothing.
Well, like I was trying to find a spot for like flying around Minneapolis. I kept driving around trying to find a good spot that's open. Finally, I kind of got to a spot and I see a guy standing outside in the yard on this like parking lot. And I kind of look at him closer. I was like, oh, this dude's flying a drone too. So it's just like, minds kind of think alike. And
perfect timing to do it.
Yeah, so then I kind of met up with a couple different drone groups around Minneapolis, and
drone groups are a great way to sort of just scout the area. A lot of times when I'm new to somewhere or I'm traveling, I'll look for like local Facebook groups to a group, and I'll just join it, so I can sort of get the 401 on places to fly. Or like a lot of times I'll show up somewhere, start flying, and I get immediately kicked out of somewhere. So it helps to know that information before. Like the last thing you want to do is get all set up, get up in the air. Security guard tells you, "Hey, you got to get out of here," and he's just being a tool bag. That's happened. I've had to like fly my drone to where I ended up walking. It's because that's how much of an asshole. He wouldn't let me land. So that happened. So those are all things that are really important to know.
Well, that, and you can, if it came to it, you could always like share footage if you needed something that someone else has. And
exactly.
So that's kind of fun too. So
really awesome. But Kyle, dude, I appreciate you coming on tonight, dude. Hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
And You're always welcome back, man. So if you guys haven't already, be sure to go check out Kyle Watt's channel. Right now, Kyle is at 207 subscribers. I'm sure
going
with
fast,
the video,
man.
Exactly. It's not gonna take long, but with the video, the quality, and the production, I'm pretty sure there is something that you will find there that you like. And if there's something that's not there, I'm sure if you give it some time, it will be there. That's the cool thing about YouTube. If you don't like what you see today, come back tomorrow. There may be something that you like.
Yeah, that's my video from today. That was kind of my spawn on. This thing was setting up for this live stream because Paul asked me to be on it, and my first thought was like, crap, how do I set up a live stream? So I kind of learned how easy it is with a Sony camera. And
dude, it's so easy.
Yeah, so that's my video this week is how to set up a Sony camera, specifically the ZV-1, but I mean, they're all pretty much the same.
And it's amazing how easy, how everything you do to just create normal content creates content that you can just put out as far as, tutorials, whatever it is. But I'll tell you what, StreamYards does make it really, really super simplistic to stream.
Yep.
Like, even if you're just a complete noob idiot to streaming, StreamYards makes it super easy to do.
Everybody's always worried when I say you're gonna join a stream, like, oh, do I gotta get like Google Hangouts or just like, no, man, you just send you a link, you click on it, you jump right in.
The one thing that I worried about most, Paul, was that this is the first time I've ever put this camera in like 1080 30p. Never done that before. I've always been my 1080 is strictly 120, and then I go 4K because as much as it sucks editing and like upload speeds.
Are you 30 frames or 24 frames?
I'm running 30 right now because that's what Paul said.
No. I'm talking about like for your normal content. 24.
Oh, I do 4K 24.
I used to shoot 24 everything, and then I switched to 30 because what I realized was drone footage. When you put it in 24, there's like this slight stutter, and then FPV amplified like this stutter. So like I have to do 30 frames. I can't do 60. I'll do 30 as a max, but if I'm doing like a vlog, like a tutorial type of style, I'll do 24. I float back and forth. I think there's a right frame rate for each type of content somebody does.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed. Doing like the 24 out of the Mavic definitely gets a lot of motion blur.
Yeah.
And it's not great motion blur. It's kind of makes it look less sharp, basically. So it's that one I like putting up a little bit higher than 24 too, just because it makes it a little bit more crisp. So
a lot of times too, what I'll do is, and I don't know how, I guess I don't know how Final Cut does this, but I'll film things at like 30 frames per second. And if I'm doing something for 24, I'll just interpret the footage at 24. I think with Final Cut, you have to just like slow the footage down by like 20% or something. And that's basically 24 frames per second, but that gives you a really good look too.
Yeah, I've done that on gimbal work where you shoot 30, 4K, and then just slow it down to
exactly, and it gives
you slow it down to 80% or something, and then you just get a slightly slower but kind of more dreamy vibe to it. So
yeah, I like that look, especially when filming real estate. I like that dreamy vibe.
Yeah,
I like it better than doing it from 60 frames per second. I feel like 60 is almost too much, but 30 frames slowed to 24 gives me just an awesome look, which I appreciate. But Kyle, appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on tonight, brother.
Later, guys.
Peace, later, bro. Man.
Whoa, what is that? Is that a freaking bat?
Yeah, there's a bat.
Holy Jesus.
There's a bat.
Dude, what the freak?
Look at this guy.
I am done. Oh!
It's coming at you.
Jesus! That's a bat.
That's a
Why
bat.
is he out at this hour?
Because he's probably sleeping somewhere over there.
Holy crap.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Really, you son of a bitch. I give you access to this, and then you do that. I've got to stop creating content for you, you son of a bitches, dude. I'm sitting here. I thought there was an error or something. I'm like, why is it playing this video? Is that his next in his playlist?
All this access is dangerous.
This is dangerous, Paul. It's so dangerous.
I'm a real producer now. It's great.
You're a real producer. I give you a little bit of power and it just goes right to your head. Let me tell you though, did you know bats have rabies, Paul? Did you know that? And Texas bats are not small bats. They're freaking huge, dude. They're like this big. They're huge. They're fruit bats, Paul. Fruit bats. Rabies, venom. They smell of disease. Decrepit. Terrible. I don't like bats, Paul. I don't like Pats as much as I don't like alligators. Which I think I'm going to talk about. I want to talk to Kelly Shore. I think at this point, I deserve some sort of royalty or free entry into Spin Up next year, because with all the stickers that he sells from Big Al, he wouldn't had Big Al if I didn't flip the fuck out, you know? If I didn't flip out, he wouldn't have had Big Al.
You don't want to go for alligators right now.
I demand royalty entry into Spin Up 2021. 2021, I demand royalty entry into Spin Up. You hear me, Kelly Shore? Royalty Spin Up entry. I don't care.
Alligators.
Since they banned me from actually speaking, I'm not allowed to speak at Spin Up because, like, there's something to do with if you abuse a sock puppet.
Boozy Bob?
Yeah, Boozy Bob, because I have the lawsuit that's still pending because of COVID. It keeps getting pushed back. The lawsuit. He's suing me. Bastard.
So Airmap, man, what's the deal with Airmap? I mean, that's the topic for tonight, right?
So these idiots tweeted out, like, and it was scary that they tweeted it out, but they tweeted it like basically suggesting that governments could charge a takeoff or land fee when remote ID is fully implemented, right? So it's crazy because you would think that Airmap, they want to educate you on the airspace and whether or not you can or can't fly here, that they would be on the pilot's side. But throughout the years, there's always been indication that these scumbags have sort of not really had the pilot's interest beholden to their hearts, right? There was always that sort of like, well, they sort of done some questionable things throughout the years that make people think like, well, are they really on our side or really not? And then they show their true colors. And what kills me about the whole incident of them actually tweeting this out a couple of days ago was that, all right, you knew that like whoever authorized that tweet or whoever put that out, like, had to know that there was going to be some massive blowback, right? Think about when you tweet something stupid, how fast it blows up into someone's face. Or like if you're a celebrity, for instance, and you say something stupid, how fast it blows up. You know almost immediately that you fucked up, and you're probably going to retract. You're going to retract whatever it is you said. They left that tweet up there for like 3 freaking days, man. They left it up there for 3 days. There was publication after publication, article after article, tweet after tweet, basically going directly at them, and they didn't do anything, nor did they really address the situation. Now, I saw a lot of people say, oh, we're leaving Airmap and we're going to Kitty Hawk. But actually, Kitty Hawk has some pretty good integration with Airmap because they use the maps from Airmap based in Kitty Hawk. Kitty Hawk doesn't have its own, well, at the time, did not have its own maps generated, that it was still using proprietary APIs from Airmap to power Kitty Hawk. So even though people are like, oh, we're canceling Kitty Hawk is, or I mean, canceling Airmap, people are, Kitty Hawk, Airmap is still, I'm fucking drunk. Airmap is still winning essentially because that API is still in play. It's still in play, which I find it, there's sort of a bittersweet irony in all that you're like, we're going to uninstall Airmap and we're going to go to Kitty Hawk. My thing is, I keep all the apps installed because I don't give a fuck. Like, are we ever going to be charged a takeoff and land fee? Nope. I mean, it's the same reason why Drone U still has so many subscribers and people paying for their course, because there's some poor sap that just doesn't know any better and they're going to pay for it. And then you just have people that maybe just are a fan of a dumpy dude that talks like, I don't know, a bitch, talking about drones. I mean,
so Airmap is just threatening to charge. They haven't actually started yet.
No. They're suggesting. They suggested it. They didn't say that they were ever going to. They said that governments could. They were making the suggestion that governments could. So basically, they were almost putting the bug. Like, it's like Lord Voldemort. You don't speak his name. It's one of those things, you just don't say it. You don't say it, but it's always a possibility. So they were basically insinuating that they could. And my assumption is they were insinuating that somebody would actually take advantage of that when we get to remote ID anyways, which, I mean, we're still a ways away from that. I know people freaking out. Technology is going to catch up and life is going to be grand. Paul, you're pixelating like a son of a bitch. And that could just be maybe on my end. I don't know. I feel like you are pixelated like you're in witness protection.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You are
I see that.
Pixelated.
This looks disgusting.
You are disgusting. You are disgusting. You pixelated son of a bitch.
I want a refund, Spectrum.
I had to pay my Spectrum bill today. It was $140 for Spectrum, and I just have internet. $140 I'm paying for internet.
What do you pay for? What speeds you got?
I pay for maximum. I pay for the maximum Pornhub speed of 1,000 down and 50 megabits up. So that's what I'm paying for.
That's some serious speed right there.
That is some serious speed. That is some serious speed. However, the upload speed still is still, it's still not very good. Still not very good. The speeds are not amazing. They're not amazing. I feel slightly bit drunk tonight. This is the first time I've been wasted on a Wednesday in a hot minute.
I thought you said you were drunk last week. That's why you left early.
I was not drunk. I got disconnected.
I didn't have anything to do with that.
I know. So funny story. I had internet issues. I had internet issues. And then I was sort of like halfway through. I'm like, I felt like the third wheel because you guys were all like, and I was just like, you know what? This is my show. This is my channel. But then I was like, there was two options. I could either go watch Magicians, which is amazing. If you haven't watched Magicians,
never heard of it.
It's an amazing show. Magicians, go watch it. You'll thank me later. Or my option B was I could bang my wife. So I chose both. I just chose both.
At the same time?
Not at the same time. You don't watch Netflix and do that, Paul. No. You don't do that. But I just chose to do both things that I like, which was watch Netflix and do that. So we did just that. Something that is happening in March 20th. I guess I'll just throw this out here. I don't know if I should be throwing it out here, but I'm gonna throw it out here. There is an event happening. Where's my events? How can I discover my events? So Saturday, March 20th, oddly enough, that is also my 17th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
It's also my 17th wedding anniversary. How about that?
You get her something nice this year?
What's that?
You gonna get her something nice this year?
So I'm actually so the 20th is their wedding anniversary, but I have a plan. I have a plan. Listen to me. So on the 20th, which is my wedding anniversary, South Florida drone meetup at Riverview Park in Sebastian, Florida. So there's this drone meetup organized by Ray Kelly that's going to be happening. Now, initially, I wasn't going to go to this, but then I was like, what if I combine my anniversary and we travel to the east coast of Florida where there's the beach? I find a hotel close to where the meetup is, and I go to the meetup and do my anniversary. It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Your anniversary. Mm-hmm.
So I told her this, and I said, we're going to go to Sebastian. We're going over to the east coast. We're going over to the Melbourne area. And she's like, that's great. We used to live there. It'd be great to go check it out. And I said, by the way, and she says, what? I said, don't be mad, but there's this meetup on the 20th. I said, this only happens once. Our anniversary is reoccurring. And she goes, are you fucking kidding me? I said, I'm not joking. We're going. I'm going. So I'm going to the meetup because my thing is, I'm not saying 17 years is nothing to see. 17 years is a long time in this day and age, but come on. The Sebastian drone meetup may not happen in 3 years. Our anniversary is there won't be remote ID on my anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
There's no regulations on my anniversary. There could be regulations in 3 years from now. So I am living.
Every chance you get the next 3 years.
Exactly. So every chance I can get, I don't care if it's on my daughter's birthdays, christening, Kwanzaa,
Might be sleeping on the couch for the rest of the next 3
yarmulke,
years, but you're gonna have some
Hanukkah.
fun drone times.
We gotta fly. We gotta fly. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to this meetup, and we're gonna fly. We're gonna have a great time. So far as of right now, we have. Guess how many people we have going, Paul?
3.
There are 12 people going right now. So that is pretty good.
4.
It's gonna be good. Brad
Nice.
Alston, who lives in Virginia, said he's going to be there. So Brad, who lives in Virginia, is coming down to Florida to be there. And I'm not going to tell you who, but someone else said that they were going to be there. He's got a little bit further to fly, but he said he's going to be there too, which is great, which is really great, because then we can get a lot of work done. So this is going to be an amazing time. I'm not going to tell you who, but we'll leave it as a surprise for what's going on. Doc said he was going to go.
You're going to get a lot of work done. What I would say Billy, but then you probably wouldn't get any work done at all.
You don't know that. We are productive individuals. When Billy and I are in the same vicinity,
did you just really like? Sorry. No.
Vicinity. When we're in the same vicinity, I don't know. Does that start with an F or a F? And does that start with an F or a P? Vicinity. Vicinity.
You're asking me. I'm a terrible speller.
Hang on a second. Let me go back again.
This guy. What is he doing? I don't know what he's doing right now. I mean, ugh. Right.
It's vicinity.
You cool off enough? Oh, look at this. I'm
vicinity. It starts with a V.
It's vicinity.
Vicinity doesn't start with a fucking P. It doesn't start with a P or an F. God, how did I make it through the 5th grade? Oh shit. So anyway, it's gonna be great. So Ray Kelly is the organizer. Captain Ray Kelly. If you don't know Ray, good guy. He's an ex fishing guide from the north. So I don't know.
Vagina.
The event price, get this. This is the best part. The price of the event. Get this, Paul. It's free. $0. $0.
Nice.
0. So it's gonna be cool. And you know what's great about going down to this place is that there's so many places to eat over there. So I'm sure we're gonna end up somewhere. The reality is my anniversary is probably not going to happen on 20th. I'm rescheduling it for the 21st or the 22nd. I'm just going to take off a few days, I think.
My wife would kill me if that happened. I would.
Here's the reality.
Be slaughtered.
God
bless your wife. God bless your wife.
I've come to the conclusion. This is what my conclusion is. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, right? It's always easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, but like, I'm not saying it's a selfish thing to do, because it is, but you can buy them diamonds, you can buy them whatever you want, but a drone lasts forever. Okay. It just feels so good inside to fly. Until remote ID takes over, then it'll last, so the next 3 years, a drone will last forever. Don't you put that on me, Paul. Don't you put that evil on me. I've drank so much beer. I feel like before I lied, I didn't grab another beer. I had to go pee. It may happen again. This land shark is just tearing me apart inside, Paul. Just tearing me apart. Man, it's hot. It's blistering hot in here. I'm wearing this sweater. I got a 3D printer going in the background. It's a blistering mess. I'm glad we're streaming again at this hour, because I feel like this is the hour. This is the bewitching hour. This is what you've came for. This is what you come for. Hopefully you raise your glass. I'm on a diet this year, so we're drinking. This is Land Shark Lager. We're drinking. I'm on a diet, so I'm drinking. You raise your glass. You raise it. Raise it. You. I see you. You raise your. So tomorrow night, if you didn't get enough of tonight's stream and you want something slightly more interesting to do, I encourage you to come over to
Sean Oz?
No. Why would I go to Sean Oz?
Weren't you honest? Was that yesterday?
No, I did not. Nothing of the sorts. That was no. I encourage you to go to Ken Herron's channel. I'm going to be the special guest tomorrow night on Ken's channel. Thursday Night Live.
I mean, it makes only sense after he
goes
up in a toilet scene. You better pay him back for that one.
So let me explain to you. You know when I was last on Ken Herron's show?
It's been a while. I think wasn't it after the alligator situation?
So I've been on Ken Herron's show twice. The first time was May 17th, 2018. That was the first time. I was just a little itty bitty guy 3 years ago. The second time was June 14th.
A little bitty guy.
June 14th, 2018. June 14th, 2018. He hasn't invited me back on his show since June 14th, 2018. Fucking Russ has been on his show 6 times. 6 times Russell's been on his show.
I mean, he
Russell's been on the show 6 times.
He couldn't even get his microphone working on his own.
Why does everybody like Russ? Everybody loves Russ.
Yeah.
He's so damn likable.
This is a nice guy.
Russ is the likable sorts. He's so likable. Damn that Russ. But anyways, he's invited me on the show. So I said, you know what? Let's do it. We had our test call today. It was great. And then Jeff Sills got on the test call and we had a Ken bang because it's like me and Ken and then Jeff Sills in the middle. So that's what you call a Ken bang. There's 2 Kens and a Sills. Yeah, Russell. I just like the name Russell. I like the name Russell.
Russell's going to be converting this to the Sony fam soon. I can feel it. You just wait.
He's already on Sony. He shoots Sony.
Not fully.
What do you mean he doesn't shoot Sony fully? Yes, he does. He's fully Sony. He's
he's APS-C guy. That's right. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. His content still looks great. And you know what Russ does better than you?
You
know what Russ does better than you, Paul? White balance. He's got it down. His video consistency is flawless.
It's because he's such a good-looking guy that it doesn't matter what his white balance looks like. Say this looks like I got to try really hard on my
Russ has been out of shape because I sent him. He asked me a question about the YouTube shorts, and I sent him a meme back of Russell from the movie Up with the balloons. He's a little bent out of sorts. You know what it is? The weather's cold there.
Metro drones.
How do I do that, Paul? Thank you, Metro. I'm doing it, Paul.
Okay, I'm the producer here, but that's okay.
Press the button.
You want to press the button? I'll let you press the button, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. We'll play a button. Let me play a button. That's the Metro.
You have a sticker song? Come on, I want to hear some sticker songs.
What song? What song you want to hear?
The sticker song. Come on, man.
That's the slot machine.
Slot machine. That's good enough.
The slot machine's good. Slot machine's good. God, I love that sound. I love that sound. When I was in Vegas, you walk by it, it's like it sounded great.
But you want to go home one day early.
Yeah, it was time, man. There was no internet in our room. I didn't have any internet because there was something screwed up on the floor. So I was tethering off my phone. Not terrible tethering off the phone because we had 5G. And holy crap, that 5G was faster than hell, dude. The 5G was fast. So I wasn't too terribly pissed about that. I didn't upload any videos while I was there, though. I did not. I was editing using the MacBook Air. I was editing using that. It worked pretty good. It worked reasonably decent. So Final Cut Pro was good, but I was actually really surprised with how fast Premiere Pro works on the M1 chip. It's actually really freaking amazing.
I've heard they're starting to figure that out a little bit.
They started to figure it out, which is scary because now it's like, wow, it's getting good.
PCs are going to be in danger pretty soon as they figure it out.
Bob Casey says, I watched your interview with 400 AGL when you had 4,000 subs. When I flew his Inspire. That was a long time ago. Shit. And then we went to, I remember that day because Mel and I went to Waffle House, and Mel did this trick. He had these coins, and he does this trick, and he's like, I have 50 cents here, and blah 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 here, or if I only, and he does this thing. I don't know. He does something like that, but he flips it into his hand. Like at first I couldn't figure it out, but then I filmed him in slow motion and I figured it out. So he's slick, but you know, these old school truckers, man, they're slick. They'll get truckers. You. They're old school truckers. They'll get you. So Paul, we've been streaming for 1 hour and 5 minutes. I think we can stream a little bit longer because I'm thinking that our streams are typically a little too short.
We went on for 2 hours last week.
I did see you went on for 2 hours the other night. You did. I was actually shocked at how many people were on the stream. Let's recap. You had Kelly, you had Muted Russell. You had Ken Herron, you had Sean Oz, which Sean just doesn't shut the fuck up.
Unbox Warehouse.
You had Unbox. You had Mike from Unbox Warehouse, which Mike is probably right now. Mike is one of my favorite creators on the platform today.
Oh,
seriously.
Boy. Somebody just asked me if I was going to get the A7S3.
Are you going to do that? I see you're selling.
I'm trying to sell my A7 III.
Where are we staying March 20th?
I have a lot of people who are hitting me up on it. I felt like
so what are you going to do? Are you going to get the A7 A7S3?
I haven't fully decided yet. I mean, I really want to, but
it's overkill. In looking at Kyle Watts's, overall image, his image looks great, and you would never know. I mean, you just would never know.
When you watch Kyle Watts' stuff, I'm like, forget it. I just need to get the A7C and be done with it.
I want to leave Monday, so I want to get that.
I honestly just want a flip out screen. Okay, I want the flip out screen, and I want the new color that look a little bit better because I prefer to shoot in standard picture profile just because it's so much easier to get it done and get it up. So I will shoot in log on occasion for like really special client shots if I really, really need to. But for all my YouTube stuff, I mean, just picture profile 1 or standard picture profile, or sometimes if I'm feeling it, I'll use our little HLG 3 or S-Log 2 thing, but that's about it.
All right. Okay.
Are you listening to me over there?
So no, I'm looking at hotels for the Spin Up meetup. So here's my thought. So if anybody's going Spin Up, so if anybody's coming down to Florida, the Sebastian Drone meetup that we're having March 20th, right now, currently today, Sebastian is not far from Melbourne. I'm probably going to be staying in Melbourne for one night, and then after the meetup, I'm going to be heading down to Fort Lauderdale to go see my brother-in-law. So that's probably what I'll do. So I'm going to get there Friday night, and I'm going to stay till Monday. I'm just going to take the whole weekend off. But I am thinking Melbourne. The Hilton Melbourne looks amazing. They also have Hilton Melbourne Beach, which is also really nice. There's really no hotels unless you go to Hampton Vero Beach. That's a deal, $125. It's 10 miles away from. I'm looking at the hotel right now. They need new photos. Maybe
Eddie, I am not getting a stupid 1DX. One, it doesn't have a freaking flip out screen.
You don't need a flip out screen. You don't need to look at yourself.
I need to see myself because
I think the Hampton is actually a good deal. Florida Spin Up. I don't want to call it Spin Up. I don't know. I think the Sebastian Drone meetup needs a name. It needs a name.
Oh boy.
What could we name it, Paul? I feel like Ray Kelly could use a name for this. I think Sebastian meetup is just too generic. We need a name. I think we should call it the
I'm terrible at names.
Sunset Drone Fest.
Sunset Drone Fest.
Or the Sunshine Drone Fest. Oh, I like it. Sunshine Drone Fest. I like it. Ray, if you're there, let's change the name to Sunshine Drone Fest. SDF. Sunshine Drone Fest. I like it. I like it. The Sunshine Drone Fest. I like it. It's got a ring to it. It's got a ring to it.
Burning Drone.
Burning Drone. I like that. I like that too. Like Burning Man, but burning drone. Ah, I like it.
Burning packs. I don't know.
Lange says we should call it Coachella.
Because you guys you're gonna burn packs of beer and drones at the same batteries at the same time.
I don't know. I refute any evidence that I've ever drank and fly. I will deny that till my death.
I didn't say you're gonna do them at the same time, but
yeah, well, you can't prove it. You can't prove it. Dronella. Sunshine Drone Fest. No. Why put Falcons there? No Falcons, just Sunshine Drone Fest. That's it. Southeast meetup. You put something there. I don't know. Eric Hall asked me, love your content. Curious, what is your affiliation with DroneWorks? Are you a part owner, consultant, spokesperson? Eric, I am actually part owner in the company, and I guess I do their spokesperson stuff. I just don't really deal with the day-to-day. I let Zach handle all the day-to-day operations for the company, and I get to make the fun content, and he sort of gets to deal with all the crap. I still have financial burden, but he gets to deal with all the like the administrative stuff, and I handle all the marketing. So it's a fun mix, I guess. All right, let's see. Original Dobo, what is your opinion on a club mentoring kids through teaching FPV? I think it's a great idea. I think that if you're going to fly FPV, it's always great if you have a mentor or somebody that knows the ropes to try to help you through it, because it's a very daunting task. I mean, YouTube does a great job of helping. Like, obviously, like Joshua Bardwell's videos are amazingly helpful, but there's a lot of people that are not visual learners. Like, they can't sit here and watch a video. They need somebody actually physically coaching them through it. So I think that's a great idea. I think there's a lot of kids and stuff that probably need a hobby. And if they picked up a drone, that is probably one less crack pipe being picked up. Yeah, I'll stand by that.
Wow.
I went there. Sue me.
Sue you.
Everybody should have the opportunity to fly. I agree. Eddie Nutt says, not unless I get the vaccine anytime soon. Paul. What do you mean if you get the vaccine? Here's the deal. I probably need to go get my immunity test, to be honest. I probably should.
They need to take your blood and make a vaccine out of that.
I have been to so many places. I have basically licked the crack of airports' asses at this point. I have been literally fucking everywhere. And yet this virus has said, you know what, Dobo? Fuck you. You're too miserable. We don't want anything to do with you.
But did you lick the Liberty Bell?
I did not. It's gated off. You cannot lick the Liberty Bell. Brad, here's my thing on these tiny whoops. If you're serious about learning FPV and really getting into it, stay away from tiny whoops. Stay away from whoops in general for the time being. Stay away from whoops, like Cinewhoops, tiny whoops. Just stay away from them. They fly like shit, and they're not fun to learn on. Like, the best thing to learn on is something that if you wreck, you can easily fix. Cinewhoops, if you wreck them, a lot of times they're a pain in the ass to fix, and they break really easily. And the Beta FPV, that quad breaks pretty easily. So that's sort of my thing on that. Like, I know everybody like sees these little tiny Cinewhoops and they want to get one, but I think the most important thing to learn is get your stick control down first. Once you understand how to work the sticks, then you can move into other things like a Cinewhoop or something. But I see everybody makes the mistake. Everybody makes the mistake of buying a Cinewhoop as their first quad, and then they're not happy with it. That's my thing. Brad, I did see he was making shirts. South Florida Drone Meetup, Sebastian, Florida. He did ask me if I want to buy a shirt, but I would just rather give him the money and not get the shirt, because I'm very particular on the apparel I wear. I could see that, and I don't really do collared shirts. For Christ's sakes, I wear a hat backwards.
They're doing collared shirts?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, I can't do collared shirts. I'm not about that life. I'm about
this is what I wear to work right here. I mean,
I'm about that casual life. I can't do
absolutely.
collared shirts. Collared shirts. I can't do it. I can't do it. So can't do the collared shirts.
Nah.
Where'd my fucking chat go, man? I can't see the chat, Paul.
Really?
What'd you do with it?
I can see in mine.
What'd you do with it, Paul?
Are you blind?
Oh, there it is.
Okay. There you go.
There you are. There you are.
What else we got, man? What
Yeah,
else we have?
So KCFPB said whoops cause bad habit. Whoops cause bad habits, and I agree with that 100%. Stay away from a tiny whoop. Like if you look at my back wall, I don't know if you can't probably
We can't see it. Sorry.
you can't see it, but on my back wall, I have 2 whoops back there. I have 2 Cinewhoops. I have 2 Shendrone squirts. Those are the only Cinewhoops that I currently have. Like I have a handful of tiny whoops. I never fly them. But if I want to fly a whoop, I'm going to fly like the Shendrone squirt because it's going to be able to do what I need it to do in a manner that still acts like a 5-inch drone. That's my thing. That's like get a 5-inch drone.
All right.
I'm actually going to be giving away a 5-inch drone here pretty soon. So we're going to be doing a live stream, probably not the next live stream, but the one after that. We're going to do a live stream, and I'm actually going to build a drone live. We're going to build it, and we're going to tune it, and we're going to make sure everything functions, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it away on the stream live.
Not the next live stream of the week after. So we're
not this week.
The 17th.
The 17th. Do we have a guest?
We have a special guest that week.
Okay, so then probably next week. Next week, if I get all these components together and everything situated, then we'll do it next week.
I would say next week. I mean, I could get a guest for next week, but if
I would like to have a guest for next week. Maybe we should find another channel, another drone channel.
Drone channels? How would we find drone channels?
Yeah, like a small drone channel. Like who's a small drone channel that we got to give attention to?
I can find a few of them. But I mean, yeah, that's fine. We have a good guest that 17th. We got
17th. I'm excited. We have Caleb Hoover. Which is, I mean, he's
blown up. He's pretty much done the whole. He was very similar field. I think Kyle Watt's is going to blow up too, but Caleb Hoover.
Fuck, that light died, Paul. That light died. I didn't charge it.
Loser.
I didn't charge it. Shit.
You need a charging wall.
I got to charge that tonight. I got to charge it, Paul. Paul, we got to charge it. This stream has been a good stream, Paul. I'm relatively excited about tonight and being back. We're back to full-time streamage. We have
full-time streamage. I'm glad you feel better.
I feel slightly less depressed. Still have to urinate though. So there's that. How do I like the Apex build? I love it. Check it out, Casey. I'm gonna show you. So I like the Apex build so much that I wanted to go to this like full time. I want to use this build full time. I actually built 2 identical quads. So I have a backup and a daily, but I ended up rebuilding it because I crashed this a couple of days ago. I sunk, which one is it? I sunk this one in the water. Or was it this one? It was this one. I sunk this one in the water. So I ripped out the motors. I ripped out the stack, the Vista, everything. So basically these things are completely rebuilt. And I ended up going with, we're using a 20x20 F7 in here. The motors are what I would consider probably some of the best motors on the market right now. These are 2306 1750 kV. These are the Cricket FPV motors. And then I went ahead and got his stack. He makes a newbie drone, makes a stack called a Cricket stack. And holy shit, it's an amazing stack. So for me, this is the best build, like for the money. Yeah, the frame is expensive, but it's totally warranted. It's the tightest frame on the market right now, and it's the most rigid. It's It's the most rigid frame. But what I really like about this whole almost cut my face. What I really like about the build is going with the 2306 motors at 1750 kV. I'm getting roughly about 6.5 minutes of flight without even trying. I'm getting 6.5 minutes of flight, which is freaking damn impressive at 1050. Almost an 1100 milliamp hour battery. I'm getting about 6 minutes of flight, which is pretty damn awesome. And I posted a video. I did a video. Let me see. I don't know if I can bring it into. Let me see if I can bring it into here. I did a video today. I just did a test. Not everybody follows me on Facebook. Well, let me see. Ah, here it is. Let me see.
Facebook? What is Facebook?
Let me see. Facebook? What do you say, Paul?
I used to use Facebook to sell stuff.
Let me see. Let me see. Share screen. No. Here we go.
Yes. Chrome tab.
All right, there it is. So we'll do it this way. So this is I did a test with this build I did today. And so this is the build I did. This is the one I just built. So I went back to running Emu Flight, and I decided I wanted to turn hyper smooth off just to see how smooth the build actually was. I wanted to see how good this tune that I put on this was. And I'm not going to lie, this is not even really trying very hard. And you can see it's relatively really, really smooth, super, super smooth. And this is not really even trying. And it was sort of windy today, and I'm getting a little tiny bit of bobble, but I think it came out excellent. And I stabilized the same footage with Real Steady, but I turned the Real Steady settings all the way down, just enough to take that little edge off. And I mean, it's coming out freaking excellent. So I am very, very happy with this tune. So if you haven't tried Emu Flight, give Emu Flight a try. It is an amazing piece of flight hardware. It works absolutely awesome. It's freaking excellent. It's definitely easier to tune than Betaflight. And if you dial it in correctly and you spend a little bit of time just to understand your filters, it's amazing. So like I said, I'm very, very happy with the way this is flying.
Huh.
No
Looks nice.
Yeah, no complaints whatsoever. So there you go. So that's Emu Flight and the new tune. So I'm gonna probably do a video with that. That's Kyle's B-roll montage. I'm buying that thing, whatever that is. He needs to send me a link for that after the show. I want that. I don't care. I want that link. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it for tonight's stream.
That's it, man.
I think that's it. I love what you've done here, Paul, with the panel. I like it. I think it looks amazing. So,
thank you.
Thank you for doing all of this.
See, once I see what the interior and the admin console looks like, I could actually design something for it.
Well, I didn't know it was possible, but holy shit, it looks amazing. This looks amazing. So, you outdid yourself, Paul. You outdid yourself.
You know, especially for the pay.
Yeah, 0. So it's pretty good for 0. Pretty good for 0. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. All right. It's going to do it. Paul, you got anything else for us tonight?
No, that's pretty much about it. I don't have anything special for you guys. I didn't plan very well tonight. Dang it. But stay recluse.
I'm really pissed I wasn't able to totally de-roll that. I saw a video and the guy totally sucked out an entire roll. I'm really pissed that Delta decided to use 2-ply. Damn it.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh.
No, you're not. No. Dang it. I did not.
I want you.
Hey, stop hitting the button.
I want you.
Dobo.
I want you.